Jesse, Pepe, Nick, Michael, Gardner, Adam, Gabi Caro, Rachel and Molly, and Brenda Sue Cowley,
So anyway, yeah, so what I was asking was, how does he change from that first moment when time stops to the end? Did you see a change in this character?
Yeah. He was 14 at the start and a college student at the end.
Yeah, but beyond that, he's beyond the years. Does he change? What do you think, Tobin? I mean, in that split second of time.
Yeah, I thought what we as a cast had discovered was that he comes in as a 20-year-old right at the very beginning. He says, "I'm in my dorm room," but he starts out with about 20 lines at the beginning, going, "I've got a wee problem here. And should I lie or should I tell the truth?" And most of us will go, "Well, what's your problem, Nimrod? Just tell the truth." And he sets it up that I've had sex and I like this girl and we kind of like each other and it could go either way. You know, there's a whole bunch of coulds. There's 3 coulds. But then he says, no, what she does do instead is, and we see she discovers something. So we have the ordinary world, the young man that's in this little dilemma. And then he's called to adventure to answer a question about something on his body.
The physical scars.
The physical scars on his body. And then if you follow the hero's journey at all, so we've got ordinary world, we've got call to adventure, and then we've got refusal of the call. And that's what the question of the choice, the question of the should I tell her the truth? Those 6 moments, it's all the same moment, heroically. He's just saying, he's refusing that call. And then as we get this great backstory as to why it's such a big deal for him to either want to tell the truth or want to lie.
And that's when things turn
About, I'm sorry.
I'm having trouble with the last lines that make me wonder about my own GT level. I have this feeling that with those last lines that I've been had, I have a feeling if they'd been left alone and we'd been left sort of with Molly's, "Oh, you're so full of shit," that it would have left me believing a little bit more in this story than I do with those pat lines that have me convinced that everything's okay, he's back in college and he even has a girlfriend, but he doesn't have a major. And, is that what I wanted to hear?
It's what I want to hear. It is what I want to hear, because I cannot walk away from that 14-year-old play, the flashback. It's too depressing. I need to, because the play, like I say, this play is about, do I tell her the truth or do I tell her the lie? That's the only thing that this play is about. If you took out the backstory, that's what I'm saying, this play would be 8 minutes long. Because it's the only thing that really, truly happens. It's the only true event in the play, is him deciding whether or not to tell the truth or tell the lie. And then you need the backstory to justify him freaking out about that.
Isn't him telling us that lie depressing?
What lie?
Well, if you assume my premise that he's essentially had us, that he's given us a story. He's made up a story for us.
I don't think he's made up that. I think he's completely honest in telling you that this is how I used to lie in the past. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I need you to understand why this choice to tell the truth or tell a lie is such a big deal right now. And when he gets to the end and she says, and she went back to sleep, those last, 5, 6 lines? Those last 5, 6 lines are important because now I go, oh, thank God, this kid's going to make it. These 2 kids are going to make it.
But I think because the play begins with what seems to me a confession, he is begging you. I admit that I do this. Please listen to me because it is critical now in a real room, not in a chat room, that I keep this girl. And so to me, back to 7 minutes ago, because it took me that long to catch up conversation, that there is hope and we're not being jerked around. That's my personal feeling, but I think a lot of people will leave and say, I fell for it. I believed in him, I hoped for him, and then he got me.
My own feeling was never one of hopelessness. It was, I felt worse for the last lines. I felt okay when Molly said, "You're so full of shit and turn it over." To me, that was authentic.
Yeah, yeah.
On the second row, one second, you had a
sorry.
question.
Well, I guess I was just kind of curious, so you believe that he actually had a test the next day?
I do believe in there because of how he says it. I realized I had a math quiz.
Because he says he had a math test, but then she says, I have a chemistry quiz.
She says
I mean,
chemistry
she
quiz.
says a lie because she didn't mention math. I don't think math was one of the classes you mentioned.
Yes, I got a B on my notes.
I don't really listen.
My only other comment is I'm feeling awfully mature and worldly, having watched the evolution of both children and raised them and adults in my, in my life. I don't see this either or that Tobin is discussing is, it's either you got to see it with hope and change, or even with the playwrights, although it was his imagination, that it's not fun to see him at this point in time as ordinary. Yes, it is, because adults evolve. People do change. And I've watched them, and some people change and blossom, and they have awakenings, and they grow for the better, and some people self-destruct. But that's the beauty of watching a play like this. You just get to kind of see it in action, and honest to God, there's nobody that knows how he turns out, either ordinary, even if he goes through an ordinary phase. I've seen too much and watched too much with human beings.
Can we come back next year and see what happens?
Does Carlos know the real Nick? Did he get a chance to spend time with him and
They kept them very, very.
Yeah, no,
So
They still can't.
They can't say their real names.
It was an article in Vanity Fair that just sparked this. I mean, so it's loosely based on it. It took place in England. This takes place in California. I mean, it's very loosely drawn. He started that he just wanted to write a play on the internet, and the Vanity Fair article just sparked this one. So it's very loosely based, but because they were both minors, so all of that was still.
And I think it still is.
Yeah.
I mean, even in America, you can't really use their real names. They're just not allowed to be.
And even that minors are getting involved with each other in ways that are just incredible. And I was really grateful for the last lines and the development of the last lines came and finished, because I was gasping through a lot of it and kind of, I didn't realize it until the end, and I kind of could calm down and think, okay, he's come back, he's not going to be lost in space. Because I didn't want to be left in mid-gasp at the end of the play, because it was so scary.
Well, thank you all for coming today, and we. We really want to thank this group of actors and Tobin for bringing this play.
Best discussion ever. This was so great. And if you want to know more, visit our website. We have a blog, SLAC.blog. And every week, one of these creative people write their blog, and I'd love to hear from you. Write a comment. Thank you so much.
It gets me in trouble. Thanks for coming.